Hi, Steve. How are you today?
Good, how you doing?
Good. My name is Jacob Stevens. Before we get started today, I want to go over some confidentiality with you. Anything that we say during our counseling session is confidential between me and you, unless, of course, you imply anything that would cause me to think that you would commit harm to yourself or others, or anything that involves abuse of a child or abuse of a senior.
Okay.
And in those circumstances, I would have to report those things to the proper authorities.
Okay.
What is it that brought you into counseling today?
Just hitting a really tough stretch right now where I just feel like I don't really have anybody in my life I can talk to about things that I think are really bothering me. And I think, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that maybe just by talking about things, it'll at least make things a little better or help me find a way to deal with some things right now I'm just not having a good time with.
Gotcha. So you're saying that you're having some problems and you really feel like you have no one to talk to about those problems?
Yeah,
I don't understanding.
Yeah, because I have a lot of family and I love them, but I don't want to burden them with what's going on. I feel like it creates more drama when I'm trying to talk to my mom about something. It's not healthy. It's not putting me in a healthy place. It makes things worse. So maybe this outlet would help.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about your family.
I have a dad and my mom that have been married for a really long time, and they're pretty understanding, good parents. I would consider them good, but they're kind of old-fashioned, so it's hard sometimes to talk about things in my life without getting judgment. And so I think a lot of times it's easy to keep those things away. And I don't know, as I've gotten older, I do have certain friends that I've tried to trust in, but I don't know. I just feel like the people close to me, it makes them worry, and I don't know. To me, that causes more stress that they're worried, and I don't know. So to stop perpetuating that, I feel like I need to do something about it. But my parents, I mean, they're good people. I just they're not really in tune with what's going on.
Okay, so you feel like you have a support system there. You just feel like you don't really want to burden them with the problems that you're having. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, and I feel like I've already burdened them enough with it. They know this has already been down that road, so I feel like there's nowhere to go with that.
Okay. What are the reasons that you feel that way?
I would say the big reasons I feel that way are just the way I was raised as a kid was very strict and religious, and I don't really follow those guidelines. So genuinely, I feel like when things kind of go south in my life as they have over the past few months, I kind of get the sense of like, well, if you had just done it this way or done it their way, that things would be better, which I don't agree with at all. So, and instead of hearing that dialogue, I don't know, it's easier to tune them out and shut them out. I still love them very much, just not when it comes to my personal life.
Okay. Now you mentioned that you've been having some problems, and tell me about what problems you've encountered lately that's brought you in today.
All right. Well, about 8 months ago, I had a job. It was a pretty good job. I was working basically as a manager for a shipping dock, and the place went out of business. All of a sudden, it was very unexpected. I had just got a pretty good raise. I was used to, I was really getting excited about the opportunity, and then when that fell through, it just, the whole, it really was a shot out of nowhere. And so that kind of set things off. I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal initially, but I really hadn't saved. I was kind of in a hole. And so finances started getting rough. And then I was having relationship problems with the new job. And then it's funny, I thought maybe the job, losing the job might help me and my girlfriend have things get better. And not that would make it better, but I thought maybe we'd come together, and instead it really just broke everything.
Broke everything apart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks for sharing that with me. I'm sure that was hard to talk about.
Yeah.
How long were you with your girlfriend?
We were together for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
What have you done? Have you taken any steps to look for a new job, or had any luck in that area?
Yeah, I've actually looked for new work. The problem is I just, I don't know, it's been hard to be motivated because jobs in the past that I left because I didn't want to do that kind of work anymore. So, I don't know, working at a restaurant or service industry at my age, I just don't want to do it. And so I feel like that's a job I could get now. But I don't know, I've applied for other management positions, and I don't know, just right now it seems like a bad time. I'm not getting anywhere. In a couple places I actually kind of went in on the first day looking to see if I wanted to do the job, or I don't know, kind of went to interviews and I thought they were interviewing me, but really I was interviewing them, and I just didn't want to work there. And so, I don't know. I really thought I had something, and my heart and my mind was wrapped on it. And when that fell through, I don't know. It's kind of hard to move on. I thought it would be easier, and it's not.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully something will come up where we can help you find some work. You mentioned earlier that you grew up and your parents were Christian people.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit more about yourself and about your childhood growing up, things of that nature.
All right. Well, I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and so it's a pretty big family. And we were kind of poor when I was little. Didn't have a lot. I don't know. Not that we went without. And my family was always really pretty happy people. Always involved in the church. I always felt supported. Our whole family, I think, did. But very strict, and I don't know. Sometimes I felt like very closed-minded, and so I think I kind of grew up that way. And so as I got older, I tried to kind of start thinking for myself, and I have a good relationship with my family, but it's a lot of it has been plastic, I think, over the years, because you have a hard time sharing things with your dad when you know he's like a really religious person and he holds these beliefs very dear, and you don't want to offend him, but at the same time, you're your own man. So I don't know. The times I've tried to come to terms and honesty with him have not gone well. He's been very abrasive and angry, and so I've just kind of learned that, I don't know, I have to kind of let sleeping dogs lie in life. He's not good at communicating or talking. So maybe some of that's rubbed off on me. But yeah, so pretty good childhood growing up. Parents are good people, just very strict and very loving mother, but sometimes overbearing loving and very coddling sometimes, which when you're young is nice, but as I got older, I think that made me have a hard time adjusting to things in life. So as you can tell, I've had a lot of time to think, so I'm kind of analyzing how I feel about, how I've grown up and how that's impacted me. And so maybe that has something to do with why, it's hard sometimes for me to deal with change.
Sure. Now you talked about how your relationship with your parents is good, and you also said that you feel like maybe they're not on the same page with you as far as lifestyles go, things of that nature. Do you feel like there's someone still though that you could go to if you, as support if you needed them?
I feel that way about my mom, but it wouldn't be my dad. I think my dad would look at me, and not that he doesn't love me, but I would see much more judgment and feeling of being weak to ask for that kind of help. I always feel like help from my father is one of those things that if I ask for, there's always strings attached. Okay. My mom, not so much. The problem with my mom is more of a disappointment level. So when I'm having the thoughts that I've been having and the ideas that sometimes, I don't know, it's just weird to have. I don't know, when you feel like for a long time you're happy and life's going well, then you don't think about how you can be in a place when things happen to where you don't have much motivation. You don't even want to complain. I don't know, you almost annoy yourself with how you feel about it. So talking to my mom just feels like a real drag on her. Plus she thinks highly of me in a lot of ways. So I feel like that's going to destroy those things. I know she loves me, but she's had enough grief from a couple of my other siblings, and I don't know, I just can't be that person. If anything, I'd rather be dead than have my mom be ashamed of me or have to feel like she's got to, help me along, through some times that I don't think she needs to know how bad they can be.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you feel like your father may be a bit judgmental if you come to him, and that you feel like you would be a burden to your mother and going to her.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I just think and then I think it would cause tension between them too. So as they get older, I think they have their own issues and problems. I mean, when I call them on the phone sometimes, they don't even. There's been times where I went to call and talk to them about something going on in my life, and they actually kind of reel off all the things in theirs, and I'm happy that they're excited about their life, but it's kind of bizarre that, your first 10 minutes of phone call are just kind of them in their own world. And so then it's just like, after hearing all that, like, I don't know how I fill in the blanks.
Now, do you have a support system outside of family as far as your friends are concerned or colleagues that you could confide in?
I think that's another problem too, is when I switched jobs, I kind of left a lot of people I knew that I was friends with and I worked with for a while. So, not that those people aren't there anymore, but not seeing them in the 8 months' time, that's long enough that I don't know. It just feels awkward. They're good friends, but I don't know. There's only so much sharing I can do without just not even wanting to talk about it with them. And then I've had a couple of best friends move to Colorado recently, and those were really the people that were more like family than my own family. And so when they moved away, they wanted me to go too. I had a life here, and I like my life here, or I did. And so I don't know. I feel like for their support, do I really want to leave all this and try to go out there? I don't know. Like that doesn't seem like a good move just to be around people. Like I don't know. That new environment might not. Maybe that friendship wouldn't be so good if I'm not in the same position I was here.
Understandable.
Yeah.
We talked about your job and your family. Tell me a little bit about your girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend, how you met, and a little about your relationship with her.
Okay. We were together, like I said, about 7 years. We met at work. We had a great relationship for a really long time. She's very career-driven and oriented, and good relationship. Felt like we had a lot of trust and a lot of fun. And I don't know, we started struggling over time. I was just, I don't know, I was working a job that I thought was pretty fun and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't paying me a lot of money. And I think that finances were definitely a problem. She wanted things, and I did too, that my job was never going to really afford me. So that's why I took the leap for this other job, thinking that this would really help. And it was someplace I felt comfortable. I don't know, just it looked like I had a lot of promise. The money, the salaries would be great, benefits. And so the schedule was something I could deal with too. And so it was really hard to make the switch, but once I did, I felt like it was going to make things better. So that just didn't happen. Actually, switching the job made things worse because the new hours and the new schedule just kind of made it to where with her hours, we weren't seeing each other during the week at all. And for a while, it was, you just kind of dealt with it. And then over time, it got to be where you're not even seeing them at all. And so then we started, then when we were together, if anything, it was more from like resentment and arguing. And I don't know, sometimes I get really angry and say things that I shouldn't. And I think we had a few too many fights that, it started becoming not a healthy environment. And so that started happening. And then once I lost my job, that kind of seemed to be the breaking point of feeling I could tell she felt like she was going to have to pick up all the weight. And that was another stressor too. I think that was hard to go get another job because I felt like I was under some rush, under the gun. And you're not really looking for a job. It's more desperation. And so that happened for a little while. And then once, I was a few weeks out of work, I don't know, I could just tell that we weren't okay. And she just kind of talked to me and said that, maybe we needed to have a little break and let me have a chance to get myself under control and things too. Because we'd had some bad arguments and my temper, never anything physical, but just more verbal. Very angry about, the way things were said or things along that nature. So we took a break and I thought things would be okay. And then maybe that's all I needed. And then I don't know, I thought maybe separation would make things better, but it's actually not. Now when we talk, it's been even worse. So I don't know. I think I have this feeling she's moving on, and it's hard to get to that point too. I don't know which way I want to go. Part of me would like to fix that, and the other part of me thinks that's, I don't know.
Yeah, you said that she was the one who came to you and said that she thought you needed to take a break. How did you feel? What did you do when she said that to you?
Somewhat common to a degree, but when somebody says that to you, you feel rejected. And I felt like we've been together all this time, and have been really good to you. And so I don't know. It kind of felt like I was exhausting her, and it wasn't worth her time anymore. And so that rejection made me angry. And so by being angry, I just I really reeled off, said hateful things about her family. About her. Some of them I do think are true. I feel them, but the way I said it definitely hurt. And I wanted it to. And so I think a lot of that happening really, that definitely, I think, pushed her away. And there's the thing about children, too. I think that she does want to have a family at some point and sees me as maybe not the best provider because of this situation. And so maybe with that happening as well, I could see, I'm just running through ideas of why she want to make this move. Why would she want to do this? And I think that could be big. I'm losing my job, don't have an opportunity, to show her I'm going in the right direction. So maybe I'm just become more trouble than I'm worth or something.
Do you feel that you've taken any steps to go back towards what you think is the right direction?
I really don't think so. I've never been much of a drinker, but I find myself wanting to more often, or wanting to do something to not necessarily party, but I just don't want to deal. I don't know. I hate that. Sounds like I don't want to. I'm not trying to solve my problems, but I feel like sometimes when you try to solve a problem and it's not working, then you get where you just feel like you got to set it down and just like forget about it for a minute, which doesn't always solve the problem, but at least you're not thinking about it and you feel like you're getting your sanity back for a minute.
Sure.
So I don't know. I feel like I've been drinking more than I ever have in my life.
How often would you say you drink?
Well, I used to be a guy I'd drink maybe once a week, hang out with friends. Now I'm drinking, I don't know, every day a little bit.
What do you feel like you're looking for when you're drinking?
I just want to feel good.
Just want to feel good.
I want my mind to shut down. It's just like always constant.
Do you find yourself drinking alone?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, that's what's kind of weird. Is I've always been a social drinker with people, and now I find myself really wanting to drink by myself. Sometimes socially, I mean, that's fine, but it's not just. It's not like a beer, Like I find myself drinking things I don't even like that much. I just want to. I want to feel a little numb or feel good, and sometimes it works. Sometimes it gets me out of it, and I have a good night. And I think that this is, something I shouldn't do all the time, but this feels good. It's better than or it helps you loosen up and maybe go see people or go out and talk to people and do something instead of staying home. But I don't know. Like I said, a lot of the closest people in my life, I feel like I can't really have right now, and so the people I do see, they're more of acquaintance type friends to where I don't know. I think they've even seen a darker side of me in some conversations that I can tell later on. They were asking me if I'm okay or not that I mean, that was nice that they showed that compassion, I guess. But to me, it didn't feel real. It was more just like, are you okay based on should I hang out with you or don't get drunk like that and say stuff that kind of scares me.
Okay. What types of things would they refer to that might scare them?
I think that would. Well, I think what scared them is sometimes I think I during this stretch I've had moments where I feel very negative, and I think it's easy for me to say very hateful things, and I don't know. It's kind of everything, and just I don't know. Like sometimes I think that I'm not necessarily. I don't know if I'm going to suicide or killing myself. I'm not sure if that's necessarily how I want to put it, but sometimes I just think like, what's the point if I'm feeling this way in life? And I got to restart at this age, and I don't even know what that is and what I want that to be. I don't know. Like, there's times I just think it'd be a lot nicer not to be here. And what's the difference? Like why do I have these feelings, and why do I not care, or why do I feel like I don't even have the motivation to want to do some of these things to fix things? I don't know. I just feel like I'm on this downward cycle sometimes, and I don't know how I'm supposed to get out of it.
So, have you had thoughts of suicide? Or
absolutely, yeah.
You have had thoughts of suicide?
Well, yeah.
Have you thought about ways to commit suicide?
I thought of a few ways, but it's not something that I really feel like I'm going to act out. It's just more of the feeling of like I want out, and so I don't know. I don't see myself doing it. I mean, the thoughts to me are more like, what if I was driving my car right now and I just decided to fly off the road? It's not necessarily like a gun or hanging myself or any of that. I don't see myself doing that. I mean, but it's more of just of like in a moment. There's moments of like, it's all be over right now. In one moment, you could choose to call it a game, and I don't know. I try not to stay there too long, but there's times where that feels better than feeling this distraught. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do, how to rebuild on this.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that you don't feel like suicide is an option, but you do have moments where you feel like you want to just give up and quit.
Yes. I don't see myself following through. It doesn't mean. I guess what scares me is that it could. If this goes on, however much longer. I mean, I don't know. Because I've been feeling this way. I mean, I don't know. Last this whole month or so.
Okay. Have you do you have any ideas of things that you could do to help make your situation better or to help make yourself feel better?
Things I could do to make myself feel better or help myself.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I've tried to. I don't know. I guess I've tried to more find things that help me feel better. Exercise is something that I thought might help. I just realized I was really out of shape and I don't like doing it. I stuck with that for just a few days and then, I don't know, I guess that didn't feel like that was going to be anything to help me. Getting outside, just trying to get out of the house, pushing myself to get out of the house. I've done that. But a lot of times that's just kind of led to bad situations where I was not in the right mood to be in the crowd I was choosing to be in. I was doing it more like I needed to get out instead of wanting to be out. I don't know. It's just when you don't feel good and you're not happy. I don't know. It's just hard to be around people that are going to either get you or want to hear what you're saying. And so drinking seems fun because when you're out drinking, people give me a little more leeway, I guess. So I think that's what I've kind of choose is to make me feel better is to get out and drink and have fun. That's been what I've chose. And sometimes it works and sometimes I do feel better. And then there's other times it makes me feel worse about myself, or especially if I get too drunk or if I get sick.
How do you feel the day after drinking? Are those how are your feelings the day after drinking? After the buzzwords.
That's the worst part. The morning is the worst part of my day. Getting up every day is the worst part. That's when I have most of these thoughts. It's driving somewhere or getting up and going somewhere. If it's just getting something to eat or going to the store. The morning's the worst part. I mean, there's some days where as I've not been working, I haven't got out of bed. I guess that's another behavior probably to be, maybe I'm avoiding something here, I guess.
So can you think of any alternatives to drinking that may benefit you? Maybe an old hobby or something that you enjoy doing?
I don't know. When I was younger, I was so social. I guess as I got older, I didn't realize it'd be this hard to make friends that I really wanted to hang out with. I find myself, the people I really want to see, I can't see them. They're too far away or they're busy with their own families right now and their children and things. So, I don't know. Hobbies, I don't know. I think it's hard to, I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do. There's nothing I want to do. Playing basketball it's not fun. I don't want to play with, and that's what I used to do is be all about sports. And even watching sports has taken a backseat. I don't find myself enjoying them. I try to watch the game, but I don't even care. Or if anything, sometimes I'm root against my own team. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Do you feel that there are any steps right now that you can take to help in the process of moving forward with your life?
I think that being in counseling, maybe being able to talk to someone that I could trust and that I realize that's not going to talk to my family and they don't judge me and they're, I'm hoping that maybe that can help me in the fact of figure out what I need to do to, I don't know, to be in a place where I even want to, that I'm ready. I don't know, like I'm emotionally ready to even take on a new job that I'll be successful at. I think I'm falling into a rut now where, getting up today for this was hard. I just want to sleep a lot. Drink, sleep, and, just watch TV and music. And it's easy to kind of be a hermit. And I never thought I'd be this kind of person, but I'm finding that during this time I have been. So I need to get to a place where I can, maybe with counseling, I'm hoping, I don't know about medication or not, but just suggestions of things I can do. Maybe talking to people who've been through something like this and figuring out maybe what they've done. You look online and you'll see all kinds of things, but I don't know. It's so plastic. It doesn't feel like real. Like they really know what I'm dealing with. It just feels like words on a paper, or a screen.
Well, we've kind of discussed today the fact that you recently lost your job and broke up with your girlfriend, which were both very difficult things to deal with in life. And we've kind of talked about what your support system is, who you have to turn to, and what you think the next steps are. You mentioned exercise. I think exercise is a great way to help combat depression and a great way to get out and find something to do. So I would recommend that you go that route. And we will meet again next week and discuss some more about things. Until then, I recommend trying to cut back on your drinking, doing some exercises like you mentioned, and just keep trying to move forward and trying to find a job and work towards things that you know will help you out of this rut you're in.
Sure. Well, I haven't lost all hope. I think coming here today was for me, it was my own challenge of I'm hoping this is a first step in being able to just make sense of how things can get better. And so, I appreciate that. Hopefully this will help.
All right. Well, we will see you next week then.
Okay.
And you have a good day.
All right. Thanks a lot.